Hey, everybody. I am waiting on Justin. He's having some technical difficulties. So I will give him a few minutes. Today we're going to be working on some commissions from our Indiegogo campaign.
Can you hear me this time?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me? You're good to go. All right, so one of our commissions was for a Bigfoot. So that's what I've got here going on. The commissions are going to be 6.5 by 10, so I've squared that off here, and the part that I'm going to cut off, I am not letting that go to waste, so I've kind of done a little small sketch here of what I'm going to put in the commission, and I will probably throw that in whenever I send it so they can have that preliminary sketch. It's probably like a 2 by 3.5 sketch here and here. I like this one. That's why that one's a little more developed than this one. So I'm going to be sketching Bigfoot. And if he comes out blurry, that's okay, because that's the way he looks.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey! Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Sweetness.
That's something.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to be working on a commission for Paul.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing the Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured I would leave you with the Mulrooney monster, since that was your specialty.
Sure.
That was your monster design.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, you don't have to work on that one today. I was just letting you know of
Right.
those two that he requested. That's what I'm going to do.
That's the one I'm going to take. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
That'll work.
And then the one for Manda, which one are you going to do?
So for Amanda, I'm going to do. She said something about doing like a King Arthur kind of themed sketch or like a dark fantasy or something like that. So I wanted to draw a something like that, something like a knight fighting a dragon or something like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then she's mentioned something like a dark forest kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she mentioned fairies or nymphs or a King Arthur character, a big bad wolf. So I did a sketch for a fairy.
Yeah.
It's kind of my preliminary sketch right here. She's sitting on a mushroom. And
Nice.
back in here, there's going to be like trees back there. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I don't know how well that comes through there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just talking earlier about how the sketches were going to be 6.5 by 10.
Right.
And so I've kind of squared that off here, and off to the side, I've done my preliminary sketches.
Very
and
cool.
yeah, so yeah, that's the one that I developed further because I liked that one, and so I'm going to go with that pose, that scene. And I was saying I'm probably going to cut those out because they're about card size.
Yeah.
And just toss them in with the sketch.
Nice.
That way that paper doesn't all go to waste.
Not and, I hate trees. I'm going to waste all these papers.
Yeah, kill the trees. Trees don't grow on trees, do they?
No.
Yeah, they do. And then Ryan finally got back to me, and he wants Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another one you can do.
Heck yeah, dude. That one sounds fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
so those are your options.
I don't think I've ever drawn Jason before.
Yeah, that should be fun.
All right, cool. So what tools are you going to be using today?
I'm going to be drawing with my, I want to call it a Statler, but it's not. It's a Pentel pencil.
Yeah.
0.4.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will be inking with brush and ink and my Manga K pens.
Yeah.
I love those pens. All right. Get my other light on here. Well.
Okay.
What have you been up to this weekend?
So I just finished watching Suicide Squad.
How was that?
Or The Suicide Squad, I should say. Not bad. Like I was really happy with it.
Really?
Yeah. It's definitely not a Marvel movie. There's a lot of people exploding in that movie. But,
Yeah.
But no,
I definitely guessed that from the trailer.
Yeah. It felt fun. It was a pretty cool movie. It had more of a story, more reason behind it than the other Suicide Squad we got. And then like more likable characters. So I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I still don't understand the merit of ever sending in Harley Quinn to fight anything bigger than like a street thug.
Yeah, or baseball, because she's got the bat.
I mean, you're halfway there with the bat, but like, if you got to win the World Series, yeah, send in Harley Quinn. But if you got to fight a kaiju, Maybe just stick to like your heavy hitters. Um, but yeah, so like that was one of my problems with the first movie is I didn't understand their team selection. Um,
Yeah.
but this one, it made more sense for the type of mission they're doing. Without spoiling too much of it, they're going to basically destroy a facility and records. It's just a demolition mission. They're not there to like fight a deity or anything like that. Um, Things go wrong and they end up having to fight, a kaiju monster or whatever. But initially, that's why they choose the team they do. Is just because it just requires people who are proficient at killing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, um, I liked Idris Elba's character. The costume designs were really good. Like I really liked. So he plays Bloodsport. Bloodsport's costume was really really cool.
Wait, Idris Elba is Bloodsport?
Yeah,
Cool. I
yeah,
wasn't sure who he was supposed to be.
yeah. I wasn't sure either because he's basically just Deadshot from the first movie. I was like, well, I know they didn't recast him because they keep saying he's a different character, but I never remembered his name until
Yeah.
I saw the movie. But yeah, he plays Bloodsport, which I'm not real familiar with in the comic books. I'm not a big DC guy, so I don't know all of their character names. But I liked it. It was a good movie. Um, John Cena did a pretty good job as Peacemaker.
Nice.
I think that persona kind of fits me, a wrestler being kind of a larger than life kind of character anyway.
Yeah.
Um, that seemed to work really well for him. And let's see, King Shark was fun. He's a just your basic Groot character though. He's not,
Yeah.
you know, nothing,
Yeah, I didn't
nothing too
realize that
crazy.
Sylvester Stallone was gonna voice him.
I had forgotten that I heard that until I saw the credits of the opening of the movie, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot he was going to do that." Um, yeah, not bad.
Well, that's cool.
I would recommend it to anybody who's like on the fence about checking it out. I don't think
Yeah.
they're going to be disappointed on it. I don't
Just
think
from
so.
the trailer that I saw, it kind of turned me off because it seemed like James Gunn was trying to take what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah,
but push the R rating on it basically with the jokes,
yeah, um,
just for the shock value of it.
yeah. That's basically what Deadpool was. Um, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, to be honest with you, because I also kind of got that feeling from it. I was like, I'll still watch it, but I hope it's not just stupid jokes and stuff like that. Which there are stupid jokes in there. I'm not going to say you know it's totally fine, but it's still an enjoyable movie. It doesn't rely solely on that stuff. There's actually some emotion there.
I heard that Polka Dot Man was pretty cool in it.
Polka Dot Man is actually the well, he's not the best one, but he's pretty good. um, I really liked him quite a bit. I like that actor though. I don't remember his name, but cool dude. It is. It's also like a little bit. embarrassing how easily James Gunn gets across the idea of what the Suicide Squad is. Like in the other movie, you got probably like four, maybe 3 or 4 different openings of people explaining what the Suicide Squad is. And like you're 20 minutes into the movie and they're still telling you what it is. I'm like, no, I get it. Let's go. So,
Right.
in this one, they do it in maybe 2 minutes, and then they're already in the action. I'm like, all right, I like that.
Yeah, I heard a bunch of them die like the first like half hour of the movie.
Yeah, like the first 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a bunch of old people die. But it actually does kind of make sense. Again, without spoiling too much, it's like they are the Suicide Squad, so yeah, that's kind of to be expected. So they're going to go into this mission that's impossible, and guess what? It's impossible. But yeah, even like what's his name, Flag?
Yeah.
Flag or what his name is. He's a more likable character in this movie than he was in the other one. Like in the other one, I just didn't care about him. But this one, he was a pretty good character.
Well, that's cool.
A little more empathy. You know, I'm still not, like I said, big on DC characters, but like it made more sense at least in this movie. His motivations and stuff. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, how much do you know about like Amanda Waller and like the reason she put together the Suicide Squad and all that?
Not much. Like you, I'm not a really big DC guy, so
yeah.
I only know what I know from the cartoons.
Yeah.
Basically. Did they make her interesting in the movie?
I mean, not really. She's pretty one-dimensional in the movie, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. She's just, and like, I don't remember the actress's name. Davis? Is it Olivia Davis, maybe? I don't know if that sounds right. But she plays it fine. Like she played it like she did in the first movie. There's consistency there. It's just I don't know why she's, you know, who she is. Why is she as angry as she is all the time?
Yeah.
So I don't know why she hates superheroes or whatever. But yeah, no, it's, and the parts with her aren't plentiful, right? There's not a whole lot of Amanda Waller in it, but I was just kind of curious if you knew like her motivations, because it wasn't very clear from the movie.
No.
What about you? What have you been watching or reading?
Mary Poppins last night.
Dang, dog, you went hard.
I know you're jealous, right? Saturday night, man, gotta cut loose.
Yeah, I get it.
No.
Which Mary Poppins was it? Was it the Returns or whatever?
The OG, man.
Oh,
OG wow. Mary Poppins, yeah.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah. No, we did watch Gulliver's Travels yesterday.
Which one?
With Jack Black.
Oh, the Jack Black one. Okay.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that one?
I haven't, no. It looked pretty fun.
Tonight I'm watching Svengoolie.
Svengoolie. What's on tonight? Do you know?
It's a movie called Black Friday.
That sounds familiar.
I've never seen it. It has Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff.
Oh, that's probably why I've heard of it. Okay. I don't remember what it's about, but I think I remember hearing about the movies, the bits and the movies.
Yeah, like one of them plays a gangster, and the other one's like a friend of his or something. Like the scientist dies, and they replace part of his brain with a criminal's brain.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I'm gonna find out tonight.
Hmm.
Kind of sounds like a mad scientist meets a mobster type movie.
Yeah,
That sounds like fun.
that's one thing about Svengoolie movies. They're always fun.
Yeah.
Watch opportunities. I haven't gotten the opportunity to do it in a while though. The nights that I do get to watch it, my antenna usually doesn't work. Bums me out.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I was like, line just kind of popped in my head.
Yeah.
Speaking of James Gunn movies,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's in that movie too. What's his name?
Michael Rooker.
Yeah, Rooker.
So, what did you decide to draw over there?
Oh, I'm decided to draw like this knight fighting this dragon, um, and I think I'm gonna have a couple of little like nymphs and fairies like shielding the knight from the fire the dragon is breathing.
Amanda says, "Hi guys, awesome. Looking forward to seeing your ideas on paper."
Yeah, you should. They're gonna be awesome.
They should be awesome. Time will tell.
So this week um, I started copying Bridgman.
Yeah, I saw your post.
Yeah, um, it's real difficult.
Is it?
It takes well, okay, so it's not that it's difficult, I guess, but it is taking a lot of time, like more time than I thought it would. I'm like, okay, well, it's just copying down and like just trying to learn what it is that he's getting across, but like
Yeah.
the amount of uh, line line work he's doing,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like much because it's all very gestural, but understanding that every what seems like a searching line is actually something that he's trying to depict, like a muscle he's trying to convey. I'm
Right.
like, okay, so that's an important line, I need that. Like, okay, well, that's also an important line, I need that. So what I thought wouldn't be that bad is turning out to be a bit more arduous than I thought. It's still fun because it's Bridgman, so it's fun to look at and it's fun to try to
Yeah.
recreate it. But
Yeah, his stuff was always very dynamic.
yeah,
Is that the name of the book? Isn't it? Didn't he write a book called Dynamic Poses or something like that, or Dynamic Anatomy?
Yeah, he probably did. This one's called Constructive Anatomy.
Okay.
But he's got a bunch of books. I have another one called, I think that one might be called like Dynamic Life Drawing or something like that. Yeah, that's another thing I've been up to this week, trying to improve myself.
That's awesome. What are you hoping to get out of it?
Honestly, just a better understanding of how to construct anatomy, how to make better drawings. Really, I find that like the longer I'm out of school for art school or whatever, I'm not as confident drawing anatomy as I used to be. So it's kind of a refresher course for me from like the life drawing classes I used to take, because that was my favorite class, was life drawing with Terry Morrow.
Yeah,
that dude was the man when it came to drawing. I loved whenever he would like walk up to drawings or whatever, and I would never be offended. I was like, all right, well, you told me that this type of drawing wasn't your strong point. I can see it. Like, yeah, I get it. But you just need to do a couple of things, and you'll get better at it. You just keep practicing. And he would just do like these really quick sketches on my paper, and show me how to properly describe something with some line. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. But no, he was a really nice old man. But he was probably my favorite. I think I miss him most of all of my professors.
Yeah. Did you ever have Andrew Martin?
I did. He was in like 3 of my classes. I did a what's it called? Independent study with him.
How'd you like him? How'd you like his class?
I liked his classes. He was very nice. He was the professor that I had beginning painting with. It was Introduction to Water-Based Painting. So we did acrylic and watercolor. And I didn't tell him until the end of the class that I was colorblind. Yeah. So, but after that, he was like, "I'm really impressed with you. Like, you're doing like a lot of work, and you don't shy away from like doing the footwork of painting. So, if you'd be interested, I'd like to have an independent study with you next semester. Really grow so you can really grow as an artist." I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'd love to." So, yeah, that's where that came from. But I liked him. I liked working with him. He's extremely nice.
Yeah, he was.
How many classes did you have him for?
I never had him for a class.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was my student advisor, though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I never had him, and I never had Terry Morrow.
Oh man, you'd love Terry Morrow.
Like I did talk to him a few times, and
yeah,
because I remember hearing from people that he taught Alex Ross.
Yeah.
How to draw, or not how to draw, but like he was an instructor when Alex Ross was there, I guess, and
right.
Led the drawing class. And so, yeah, I remember me and some other students like huddling around him, asking him questions like, "What was Alex Ross like?" And
yeah, that was pretty cool. He talked a little bit about him whenever we were in class.
That's cool.
Kind of unprompted too. Like nobody brought it up. Like I didn't want to.
He's name dropping.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure you're tired of people asking you about that, but like I would really like to know, like how'd that go? Like, but I never asked him. And then I think it was one day towards the middle or end of the semester. I guess he decided, well, no one's going to ask me. I might as well talk about it. I guess that's an old man for you. If no one's going to ask me about this story, I'm just going to tell it anyway. But no, he talked a little bit about it. He was very nice, very polite. Had a workshop and he came to that, and very very talented. And the secret to his uh, success in drawing is just his persistence. He talked about like how he stuck with fundamentals and all of that. And I was like, no, he's a witch. With all due respect, sir, you're full of it. He's a witch.
Manwich.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was my experience with Terry Morrow. I think he's retired now.
Is he?
Yeah, I know he was getting pretty close whenever I was there. I was very grateful that I got a chance to work with him, but I want to say probably like 2 or 3 years after I left, he retired.
Yeah, my teacher, I think her name was Dana.
Okay.
Or Carrie. I don't remember.
For life drawing, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who that was. Well, I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, I had her like for 3 of my classes, I think.
Did you ever have what was his name? Oh, it's gonna kill me now. Amanda probably remembers the guy that used to say "find the feet" all the time. Did you ever have like an older man for life drawing or drawing too?
No, I never did.
Yeah, Amanda. I'm sure Amanda remembers his name. But he used to have this guy, and his thing that he would always tell us was, "Find the feet. You got to find the feet. You haven't found the feet yet." And I'm like, all right. I mean, that's cool. Like, yeah, I want to get the gesture right, and that's great. But also, I found the feet. They're just little. They're right there. I drew them. It's like, well, the reason you gotta find the feet, like, no, I don't want this 20-minute story of why I need to find it. I understand the importance of drawing the feet first before I get too far into the drawing. Yeah, it was really funny to be in that class too. I had him, I think, in also 2 or 3 classes. Because I needed another drawing credit or something like that, and I was like, well, that's the only other class that's available in the times that I can take it. So I had to take him. I think I took drawing 2. No, I took drawing 3 twice. That's what it was, and or life drawing 3 or whatever twice, so that I could get just an extra credit, and because I like drawing left drawing anyway.
Right.
I figured it was going to be an easier class, like an easy A or something, which it was. I'd already done it before. So. But yeah, easily my favorite class was Terry Morrow's.
Nice.
Class. I'm not sure that I'll. I mean, this is a little pessimistic, I guess, of me, but I don't know that I'll ever be able to draw as good as I felt like I did, make that kind of progress as when I was in that class.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. That's what Bridgman is for, maybe.
Yeah, there's just something about going to the studio and doing it every day.
Yeah.
And not only doing it every day, but seeing your peers, what they're doing.
It's that community learning, it's that group setting. You're right. It's learning from other people's mistakes, but also learning from other people's successes.
Right. You just kind of take and borrow from this person, that person, and
exactly. There were some great artists in my class. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's a big thing I miss about that. And one of my favorite things to do with Amanda when she comes over is draw stuff and just make art. 'Cause I do kind of miss that community setting.
Oh man, this says it was Don Wink.
Don Wink, I forgot. Mr. Wink.
Yeah, I had one of the Wheeler brothers for one of my drawing classes.
Oh, was it Jeff? Was it the older one?
I don't know if it was Jeff or Brian was the other one, right?
Brian was the other one, yeah.
Yeah, I honestly I can't remember which one.
Was he the one in the band or out of the band?
You got me, man. I don't remember.
Was he real creepy towards the girls?
He had glasses. Or did they both have glasses?
They both had glasses.
Well then.
Yeah, they both had glasses and they both looked very similar. It's just that one looked like he had a rougher life than the other one. Jeff was my instructor for drawing 1. And I think drawing 2? No, it was somebody else. He was my instructor for drawing 1. And he's a funny guy. He always made a class fun, but he liked spending a little more time instructing the girls.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You see a lot of that, I guess. I saw a lot of that among the TAs, or at least maybe even the adjuncts, the adjunct teachers.
Yeah.
Like for instance, in Don Wink's class, one of his classes, I don't remember this guy's name. It was like Colin or something like that, or probably Mark. I don't know. But he was he was also kind of creepy. Like he came up to me one day and he was like, "Hey, so I heard you're into comic books." And I'm like, "Yeah, I like comic books. I like drawing that kind of stuff." And he was like, "Oh, cool. What kind of comic books do you like?" I'm like, "Oh, Iron Man, Deadpool, that kind of stuff." He was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah. When I was young, I used to draw Conan comics." I was like, "Oh yeah, Conan's pretty cool." He's like, "Yeah, I used to like to draw the naked girls on there." And I was like, "Oh no!" And I was like instantly like seized up. I was like, "I don't want to be around you anymore."
I don't think you like Conan.
Especially don't say that like in a life drawing class where there's a model like 10 feet away from you.
Right.
Yeah, that wasn't my favorite part of it. So, do you remember that movie Art School? I think it was called Art School. It had John Malkovich in it.
Maybe. Is that the one that has something Schwartz in it? I was gonna say Ben Schwartz. That's not his name though.
Jason Schwartz?
Jason Schwartz.
I don't think it had Jason Schwartz. I mean, maybe it did. I just don't remember him. But yeah, that movie's all about like the tropes of art school and whatever. And creepy guys are in there, and I'm like, yeah, I remember that. Just one of those things. I guess they're everywhere. Outside of that, though, not bad. I enjoyed my time in art school.
Those were the good old days.
There's something all right.
I remember this guy in my life drawing class who always used to sign his drawings as Bob Ross.
Did he really?
Yeah. You draw Bob Ross. And I think he was colorblind too.
Was he?
Yeah.
I wonder how many colorblind artists there are like per semester? Number has
Probably
to
not
be.
many.
What was your favorite class? Do you think?
Probably. I have to go with my painting classes. My painting classes were my favorite ones.
Really?
Yeah, which is weird because I was always afraid of painting, and
Yeah.
but I feel like I enjoyed the process. Like
Yeah.
I got to just sit and enjoy the process. Whereas with drawing, especially life drawing, I mean, you're like, it's work. Like it doesn't feel. It never felt relaxing to me. It always felt like work. Like I'm there. I'm drawing. I got to capture the gesture, the shape, because
Yeah.
I have a limited time. Because once class is over, that's it. You know.
Yeah.
Whereas with painting, I could take a week on one image, you know, and push it, pull it, do whatever I wanted with it. Um, and so I got to enjoy the process.
Yeah.
So even though I preferred drawing to painting, um, as far as the classes went, like I just enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling Crystal just the other day how we used to go in like just late at night when there's like nobody else around and just go to the studio and paint, and you just got to zone out and just enjoy it.
Yeah. Do you remember spending a lot of time like on Saturdays and Fridays? You're like, all right, gotta go.
Yeah,
Heading up to the studio to draw and paint and whatever.
yeah.
And Amanda would be there, and we'd just sit around laughing about whatever, barely working. But sometimes I would work. That was nice. That was also nice. You think you had a favorite professor, maybe?
Definitely, but really wasn't at Tech. It was at Pan
Else?
American.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Martin.
Dr. Martin. I forgot about Dr. Yeah. Why was he your favorite?
He was my favorite because he was just a really patient teacher
Yeah.
and very encouraging. And the guy knew how to draw. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Amanda said, I was so scared to go into printmaking because of all the chemicals, but it turned out to be my favorite class.
Yeah. I hated printmaking. I hated that class so much.
I didn't mind printmaking.
Yeah.
I actually liked making the linographs, where you're like cutting into
Oh yeah,
the linoleum.
the relief stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that was fun. That was all right.
You're like basically making a big stamp.
Yeah, that's all it is. I didn't like screen printing though, because that was not like making a big stamp. That was making a mess. I swear I could wash my hands like 6 times in between doing like one layer or another, and like I would still get like a weird smudge on my paper, and I'm like, God dang it! What do you want from me? Why can't I keep my hands clean? Yeah. But, no, I do remember that print that you got of Dr. Martin's, where he's. I guess it was a self portrait, right?
Yeah, it's a self portrait of him taking a nap or something.
Yeah.
And that was a gift he gave me before we moved away from South Texas.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was my favorite teacher.
You didn't really care for 3D stuff, though, did you?
No, matter of fact, I hated my jewelry making class.
Really?
Yeah, that was quite possibly the worst class ever for me.
Yeah. What'd you hate about it?
I just could not get into 3D stuff, and creating the jewelry stuff was just difficult,
Mm-hmm.
like soldering and all that fun stuff. I enjoyed sculpting the figures out of wax and making your mold with that.
Yeah.
Like that was fun. But but that's something I really wanted to waste my time on doing.
Right.
Like I'm a 2D guy, not 3D guy.
Yeah. I get that. I didn't really care for it either. I didn't hate it, but like I think I think part of the reason I enjoy like painting and drawing so much is because you work as fast as you want, and like if something doesn't go right, you can go back a little bit. You know, you can cover up your mistakes or whatever. With
Yeah.
jewelry, with even with like clay sculpting, like once you fire it, you're done. Like that's it. You're gonna have to start over if you want to fix something. So yeah, like there were aspects of it that I enjoyed. Working with my hands is fine. Like I enjoyed that about like what's it called, uh, hand building, clay,
Yeah. Like pottery.
pottery, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was I was miserable in wheel class. Um,
Oh, throwing clay.
Throwing clay, yeah, I could not
I
do it.
Yeah, that was not my favorite either.
Um, and because of the way my credits transferred from South Plains to Tech, when you take uh, ceramics one, it counts as hand building and wheel one, as in one class.
Hmm.
So when I took what I thought was intro to wheel, that was intermediate to advanced wheel throwing, and I was
Oh
like,
wow.
"What?" Like, yeah, you've already taken wheel one because you took ceramics one in South Plains. I was like, "Well, then I've got some sour news for you, Jack. They didn't teach me anything over here." um, yeah, so we just covered hand building, and that was it. And I was able to get by with like a B. I was able to spend a lot of time that semester in the studio just working, making bowls after bowls. Like our first assignment in that class was make 50 bowls over the weekend. So I was like, well, I'm about to get real good at it. So I went in there and
Like 50 bowls?
50 bowls in one weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
How big were they? How big did they have to be?
So just like standard size, like he didn't put like it can't be a cup, right? It can't be something super small. So it had to be like a bowl or whatever. So it just something you could put two hands around. I was like, okay.
Okay.
So I made 50 bowls. The good news is you didn't have to buy your own clay. Like you could just get the clay from the studio.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would have been
Broke.
bankrupted. Yeah. I was already broke. I would have been broker. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much one of the worst times I've had in a class that turned out fine. Like later on. You took ceramics too, didn't you? Or was it just ceramics one, or did you take other ceramic classes?
Well, I took ceramics one, and then instead of taking ceramics two, I took I can't remember what it was called. It was with Cara Donatelli. I think it was like experimental 3D or
Oh,
something like that.
yeah. Okay, like a design class with stuff,
With 3D stuff.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's whenever I carved the that face out of the little tree stump, and
Yeah.
I also made that weird little kind of like a bridge that had like
Oh,
the
the
wax
lights.
paper with the
Yeah,
wax paper around it and the lights going through it. Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
it was for Kara's class. I don't remember what it was called though.
I think you're right. That does sound familiar. 3D experimental 3D or something like that. You just use whatever stuff to make things. That was similar to my design class, my 3D design class. We had well, not I guess not an exchange. You can't really call him an exchange student, but he was from North Korea. His name was Do. Oh my god, he was the nicest guy I've ever met. And he would like if you failed an assignment or you just didn't do that well, like maybe you got a B, he'd be like, "I'm so sorry." Like, oh, I'm so sorry you got a B. I'm like, no, that's fine. Like, I didn't understand the assignment, or I just didn't execute it properly. You don't have to apologize. And whenever there was like a lazy student, and we had a few of those too, they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, well, I don't understand why like I didn't get an A. Sorry, I'm real sorry about it. But like, yeah, it doesn't work." And he would like coddle them as much as he could. Like, I don't know how frail he thought Americans were,
yeah,
but yeah, he was just the nicest guy. And once he saw that like I could draw and I could do stuff, like I took an interest in the class. Like I had fun making our assignments.
yeah.
Like he opened up and he was like, "Oh, here's some like artists I think you'd really like," and he brought me some manga on like a flash drive or a CD or something.
That's cool.
He was like, "I think you'd really like this." So I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I checked it out, and yeah, sure enough, like the guy that he had showed me, I don't remember his name anymore, but it was like a fantastic artist, and I was very grateful for that. And I really enjoyed that class. That's where I made that spork monster. I don't know if you remember that, but like the assignment
It
was
sounds
make a creature out of uh, plastic forks and plastic knives or something like that, or plastic spoons and plastic knives. And I was like, heck yeah, dude, let's see what I can do. And they gave you a hot gun, hot glue, and that was really all you needed. So I just constructed this like actually it didn't look too far off from this creature I'm drawing right now, but like he was just like this like weird like spork monster. He had like fork for uh, teeth and claws and stuff like that. I just was able to melt and manipulate it to where it actually looked pretty gnarly. He just looked like a bone monster. And I asked Doe. I was like, "Hey, can I use like some extra products or like extra uh, materials besides like forks and spoons, so long as like my base is just forks and spoons?" He was like, "Yeah, sure, that's fine." So I got like a trash bag, like a Walmart trash, like a white trash bag. I cut it out and I hot glued it to underneath its arms so it looked like it had tattered wings. And
oh nice.
it looked. I was so proud of that. And probably after like 3 years, it started to fall apart because it's just hot glue. but,
Yeah,
and right now, I just have like a pile of forks and stuff, but melted forks. They're kind of useless, but I keep telling myself like one day I'll put that thing back together. I don't think I will, but
that's
hold on.
awesome.
Yeah, that was one of the most fun projects I think I've ever had in the class. Is just getting to design like a fantasy creature.
Yeah, some professors made it hard to have fun in those classes.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So you have to be sneaky about it. I think I
Like
remember,
you're not having fun.
right? Like, like I remember wanting to paint superheroes in my painting class, but my teacher thought like illustration was just this lower form of art. Didn't even consider it art.
Yeah.
So he wanted like paintings to have meaning and purpose. And I remember doing this painting of Fathom because Fathom was hot at the time. It had just come out.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's this?" And I was like, "Well, it's based on a comic book, but it reminds me of my uncle, so it means a lot to me." And just kind of making stuff up because he's in the
art school gets you really good at that.
yeah, because he was in the Air Force, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I remember you telling me about that. I was like, it doesn't mean anything to you.
No, it doesn't. But that's our little secret.
The art of lying.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I had this TA who used to ask, like, "Are you done with this painting?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "How do you know you're done with your painting?
Oh yeah.
What did it say to you so that you know you're done with the painting?" I'm like, "It's a painting, dude. It didn't say anything to me. I'm just done with it."
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to play along with those types of people sometimes and be like, "Well, it spoke to me and it said,
One night
quit tickling me with that brush."
One night I had too much to drink and it spoke to me. It was like, "You're done, bro. Get out of here."
What kind of shrooms were on that pizza? Yeah.
I think those tacos were bad, dude. Get out of here, bro. Yeah. I remember we had this one girl in my class. She was super annoying, but not because she wouldn't leave people alone or stop talking. It's because she had that kind of like, I don't know what kind of personality this is, but she was just awful. So like she was in the painting class. She was a senior as a painter, painting major.
Yeah.
Every time we got to her in the critique, she wouldn't want to talk about her painting. But she would do it. Well, first of all, you should at least know how to fake your way through talking about your painting.
Right, yes.
In painting class.
Definitely.
But second, like, she would be like super coy about it. Like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, I hate it. It's a stupid painting. I don't want to talk about my painting." Like, no, that's not how critique works. We need to talk about your painting, dude.
Right.
Oh my god, that was one of the most annoying things. It's like, I think so. There was this one guy. His name was Eric. Really cool guy. Like, really nice guy. Extremely talented. It didn't matter what it was. He could do 3D and 2D. You know those people that can just do whatever they want.
Yeah, I hate those people. Those jerks.
But yeah, this guy was like, "Okay, so I've got a question for you. you're a painting major. You're about to graduate this semester. How do how do you see yourself presenting yourself in galleries? And she was like, oh, I don't want to do galleries. Like, okay, well, what kind of setting do you want to do it in? Do you want to present these paintings in? Like, oh, I just want to put them in my closet. I don't want anyone to see them. Okay, why are you a painting major?
Right.
Like, if you don't think you're getting better and you don't want anyone else to see this, like, I don't understand why you're here. He said it in a nicer way, but like, essentially
Right.
what we were all thinking, like, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, my painting professor at Tech was his last name was Gibson, I think.
Yeah.
And man, he was pretty direct. Like he used to tell these people who would come take painting classes because I thought they were gonna get easy A. Like he'd be like critiquing their painting, just kind of ripping them apart.
Yeah.
And I remember he made this one girl cry, and he was just like, "What's your major?" And she's like, "Painting." And he's like, "Well, if you can't take a critique, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
It's better you know now."
Ugh.
But it's
And
true.
Yeah. I mean, was she a senior or a junior or anything? Or...
She was probably like a sophomore.
Yeah.
So it definitely is better you know now than
Yeah. Wasting
wasting
another 2
years.
Yeah. Or longer.
Yeah, he made probably at least 3 people cry while I was there over the 2 years I had him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say his name was? Gibson?
Gibson, yeah.
Gibson. Oh, that doesn't sound familiar. Was he older or younger?
He was older. Matter of fact, when I had him, like the last year I had him, I think was the year he was retiring. Like he was going to retire after that.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember I kind of struggled with him like the very first time I had him because of that. Because he was like, illustration is not art, and we kind of had that argument. And,
That was it. Okay.
yeah.
So he doesn't consider like what Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci did art, because I mean that's all illustration of like biblical stories.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But no, he didn't. He was. Yeah.
They would have failed his class.
Comic books are just a lower form.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have flunked them. Not painting no Sistine Chapel in my classroom.
Yeah, you misspelled 16, stupid. Get out of my class. Yeah. I don't think I ever had any professors that were like that mean. So I think the closest I had was there's this thing British student. From what I heard, he would make it a point to try to make us like 1 or 2 students at a semester try. Without that, he would love it. I had never heard of that until after I already signed up for his class.
Wow.
I was, yeah, it's like, I had a friend. Her name was Naomi, and she's the one who told me about that because she had taken a lot of classes with him. And she's like, I've never really had a problem with him, but he's always been very direct and honest with me about my work. He's like, no, this isn't good. Like, you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right. Start over. And he's been known to like just tell people like, you're wasting your time in art school or stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm not looking forward to this. And she's like, well, I mean, you can handle critiques, right? Like, yeah, I can handle critiques, but also I try my best. And like, I hope at least he knows that, like, before he just like launches into me. I'm not a 3D artist. I have to take 3D classes. He was like, oh, I should be fine. I was like, okay. So I took welding with him. It was like metal work, and perfectly nice. Never once made a comment to anyone in the class that they weren't doing good or whatever. I found out later that he had just gotten tenure, and I was like, oh, maybe he just stopped caring. He's got tenure here. What does he care if he like, uh, gives people honest critiques anymore?
Right.
So yeah, that was the closest I ever got. I never actually got like a heartbreaking critique. I don't think.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever got like that kind of critique either, other than like I said, just with that professor, and it wasn't really like he wasn't dogging on me or anything like that, but we were just kind of like we had a discussion about art versus illustration, and
Mm-hmm.
is illustration art, and it wasn't just me. It was me and my friend Brian Wright.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember him. He was an
Vaguely.
excellent painter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the best painter up to this date that I've known. Like, I enjoyed watching him paint. I know he had aspirations to go work for George Lucas.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Have you ever looked for him like on Facebook or
I have.
anything like that?
Yeah, it's been a few years, but yeah, I did look him up just to see if he was around.
Yeah.
I never did find him. So Netflix released this new vampire movie called Blood Red Sky. Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't.
No,
Have you
I
watched it?
haven't. I was curious if you'd watched it.
No, I haven't really watched Netflix besides Masters of the Universe. Oh, by the way, did you finish?
Yeah, I
that?
did.
Okay,
Did you?
I did. Yeah, I finished it that Friday that it came out.
Yeah.
I was fine with it.
Same here. I didn't like the way Tila reacted.
Sure.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a problem with it other than that.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I think I agree. Like, Tila's reaction doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm gonna wait until I see season 2. Maybe we'll redeem that somehow. But no, I really didn't have any problem with the show. But again, I wasn't a huge He-Man fan when I was younger. That was the couple of years before me. I was more your time. So
Yeah.
But just as a show, like if this was brand new and I'd never seen anything like it before, I'd be fine with it.
Right.
I think besides Suicide Squad, that was the only other thing that I've been watching.
Yes, a friend of mine at work was telling me about that movie. And I had seen the trailer for it, so it looked interesting. The premise sounds interesting, anyways. If you haven't seen the trailer or you don't know anything about it, it's this lady, and she has this kid, and she gets on a plane.
Mhm.
You got somebody in your room? Oh, okay. I thought I heard like voices.
Just the
Just
ghosts.
the ghost. Just the voices in my head.
I hope there's nobody in my room talking.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were busy. No, so this lady has this kid, and she's on a plane, and she's on her way to get like treatment for something, and you find out like she's a vampire,
Yeah.
and these hijackers take over the plane. So it's like snakes on a plane, but with vampires. Yeah, so she like vamps out to protect her kid, basically. The premise sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And like she's trying to fight it, like she doesn't want to be a vampire, but now she's got like no choice but to use her preternatural abilities to fight the hijackers. I don't know if it's good or not. I just like the premise.
Sure. The last time that I watched a horror movie, or at least like a monster movie, I think was probably in early June, 1st of June, when Amanda and her sister Hannah came over. We watched a movie called Howl, I think it was, but not the Jack Nicholson one. It was about a train, or it's a train that gets stuck on the rails, and a werewolf shows up and starts picking them off. We didn't finish the movie because we lost power. We were having a storm like at the same time. I did not care that we didn't finish the movie. It was awful.
Really?
It was not good. not a good movie.
It was anti-good.
Yeah. It's not like the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's fine. It's one of those movies you watch like, it's pretty bad. I guess I'll put that on.
Yeah, what was that one with the Iceman that we watched a long time ago?
Yeah, Jack Frost.
No, with the actor that played Iceman in the X-Men movies.
Oh,
That was a werewolf movie. Or it's supposed to be a werewolf movie.
Bad movie?
Something like that.
I think it was Blood. I'm almost positive it's Blood Moon.
That was a terrible movie.
Yeah. That was pretty rough, yeah. I remember that.
It turned out to be like a virus or chemical thing that her mom made or something like that.
I don't even remember that part. I just remember like the more human she became, the more animal she became, and that was like the big humanitarian message behind it.
Yeah, it was a lame movie.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good. Yep. I have been in the mood to watch a bad horror movie, like a sci-fi original.
Yeah.
I get those feelings every now and then.
Same here. Sometimes it just sounds like fun just to watch a dumb movie.
Yeah.
Even though you know it's gonna be bad, you just want to watch it just to veg out, not really think about anything. Just had dumb fun.
I remember this one that I saw. I think it was on Amazon Prime. It's called Whale Wolf.
Whale Wolf.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It is the single greatest accomplishment of mankind. So it is. It's the story of this plucky little werewolf that becomes infused with whale DNA, and becomes a whale werewolf. So basically, a werewolf that doesn't have any fur, it has skin.
Interesting.
It's pretty. Mm-hmm. It's a fine film.
Must be.
What do you think the worst horror movie you've ever seen is?
Man. Don't know. The worst one. I gotta think about that one.
Yeah.
What about you?
Whale Wolf was pretty good. I don't know. It's gonna end up pretty high on that list. I don't know. I've seen some real stinkers though,
Yeah.
but I think like some of the ones that I would say like they're pretty bad. They knew they were gonna be bad.
Right.
Like they didn't really take themselves that seriously. Like Dinosaur Island or Blood Monkey Island, Zombie Island, those kinds of movies where it's an island.
Right.
And I saw one called Grizzly. That one was pretty rough.
Really.
And that was a Canadian horror movie. And
Sounds like it.
it was about these Canadian, or no, it was about American hikers that go to Canada, and they
Stupid
I don't
Americans.
know, yeah, like they hit a baby grizzly bear with their car, and then they just keep on driving. And then the mother grizzly bear sees the baby and like avenges the baby's death by chasing down these Americans and killing them. So it's basically
course.
like, I know what you did last summer
For bears.
with the bear.
That's awesome. Sounds terrible, but also at the same time.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was back whenever me and that friend Naomi would rent a bad horror movie from Hastings and get some sushi or something, and then we'd go back and watch it. I'd usually fall asleep on it.
That sounds like fun.
There's like that line that you can ride. Like if it's good in a bad way, I'll stay awake for it.
Right.
And if it's only kind of bad, I'm probably gonna fall asleep on it. Like that's
Yeah.
that's the line for me. Is it's not interesting enough in a good way, and it's not interesting enough in a bad way. I'm just gonna pass it. There was one I always wanted to watch called Sharktopus, which was a shark head with octopus legs.
I've heard about that one.
It has Eric Roberts in it, and that dude knows. He knows a solid script when he sees one.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah, and Whale Wolf had Casper Van Dien in that one.
Of course it did.
Mm-hmm.
Good old Casper. Like 90% of the sci-fi movies starred Casper Van Dien in it. Back in the 90s, early 2000s.
Yep. Oh, so last night I was going through some old comic books, a little bit off subject. Um, I found a comic book from Lucid Press.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was the one that you bought when we probably first moved to Lubbock or something.
Yeah.
It was that one, Walker, about like I guess he's a monk or something. I don't think I ever read it.
Don't remember. Is that the one with like wizards? That's the one I remember.
Yeah, that's the one. That was probably a wizard.
Did you read it? Or are you going to read it?
I am not gonna read it. No.
Okay.
Looked at it. I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
You're like, nope.
No thanks. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't drawn or anything by Will Terrell, so.
So you don't care.
I,
Who was the artist on that? Do you remember?
I don't remember the name. I didn't recognize it though. Whenever I looked at it, because I looked at it maybe thinking like, oh, maybe it's somebody I've heard of since then. But
Right.
no,
That's what I was thinking too. No.
no, I didn't. Like I said, I didn't recognize it. Maybe you would, but I didn't. I did, however, find like an old comic book of Steve Epting.
Oh, really?
Whenever he was working on X Factor, it was like X Factor 93 or 193 or something like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I didn't even know he worked on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I found a Superman comic book that was drawn by Steve Epting.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea. That was like 90s, I think, or 80s.
Wow.
Like, I had no idea he even worked on Superman.
Yeah, the book I found, he wasn't Steve Epting yet. He was,
No.
He was just some dude.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
Trying to make his way in the world. Trying to find his inner Epting.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, it's the same with that Superman book. I was like, man, this is his work. Like, I looked at it.
Yeah.
Like, but I bought it anyways just to look at it because it's Steve Epting. And
yeah.
It's kind of cool to look back and see where a lot of these artists came from and the progress they made. I mean, they broke into the industry before they were perfect. And along the way, they perfected their work. Which I think is really important to realize that you don't have to break in when you're perfect. You don't have to wait till then. Just go. Get better along the way.
Mm-hmm. I think it's important that at least those guys understood like important stuff, like fundamentals of drawing, meeting deadlines. You know, not the pretty stuff that catches everyone's eye yet, but maybe composition and all that.
Right, they had the basics down.
Yeah. I think that's the stuff that's you don't realize when you're younger how important that stuff is. You just want to draw splash pages and explosions.
Right.
So, is there an artist that you weren't really into when you were younger, but like the older you got, the more you kind of appreciated them?
Yeah, I think it was like that with Mike Mignola.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't understand what the big deal was because like I was all into Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri and guys who did lots of detail.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really get like the whole Mike Mignola thing until years later. Then when I started to understand like the importance of just shapes and volume in your drawing,
Mm-hmm.
and just how masterful he was at that. Like his artwork looked so simple, but it was so complicated.
Deceptively. Yeah.
So yeah, that would be the guy for me.
I mean, there's probably a few, to be honest, but he's definitely one of the ones that I didn't catch on to him until much later, and even then, I don't think I fully grasped everything he was doing whenever I started to appreciate him. I would say honestly, like recently, it wasn't so recently that I started really understanding, like, wow, he's really doing a bunch of stuff that it just doesn't look like it. He's just putting down like real simple lines, but they're very informed lines.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't make a stroke or a mark that just isn't like well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make all kinds of lines and strokes.
Honestly, that's one of my favorite things about drawing is just like making search lines. Just like, yeah, what if the line was here too, and also here? I think I appreciate the idea of sketchiness too much to be that kind of artist.
Be a clean artist.
Yeah, I can appreciate people who do that. Like the more I find my own style in being messy and sketchy and kind of loose with my lines,
Yeah.
um, I can still definitely appreciate an artist who like, no, the line is here and only here. That's it. You're gonna have to live with it.
Right.
I can't live with it, so I just make a bunch of lines.
Is there
I'm
an,
probably gonna have to start watching Jason Voorhees movies or something with Jason Voorhees drawing.
you got no choice, man. You gotta do some research.
I gotta. It's for the fans,
It's for the art.
for the children. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say about the opposite. Is there an artist that you thought the world of when you were younger, and then as you got older, you're like, well, maybe.
Oh my God, so many, so many. No, not a whole bunch, but there are, and I couldn't even tell you their names because honestly, I don't think they're around anymore. They're drawing anymore, but there was this one comic book that I adored. It was called Midnight, something like that, but like with night spelled with a K, like night.
Oh yeah. That was an Image comic, right?
It was an Image comic, and it had beautiful
Was
colors.
yeah? Was that Rob Liefeld's studio?
It wasn't. Oh, maybe it was. You know what? Now that I think about it, it could have been.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and it was a cool costume. He looked like a knight, but with tights and pieces of armor here and there.
Yeah.
Cool broadsword. Um, but like, and the art was like very at the time. It was timely. It was the '90s. It was edgy. Everyone had like a weird shaped face, but like huge bodies and like it just at the time it looked really cool. But now, if I look at it, I would probably wince a little bit because nothing's on scale and characters are off model in like every panel and you know again it's those fundamentals that you don't pay attention to as a kid because that's not flashy, it's not exciting. But
Yeah.
when you get older you're like you can't exist without fundamentals, at least not for very long. So for me, I can't give you like a name because I don't know it, but like at least that style of explosions and stuff. Um, like focusing more on the dynamic than the structure.
Right.
Um, Other than that, I would say I probably got a little disenchanted with Stephen Platt.
Yeah,
As beautiful as his work can be because of how much detail he puts in that.
yeah,
Um, some of his stuff is a little hard to look at. Some of his Moon Knight stuff is just like they popped him into a microwave. He's just bubbling over with these blisters everywhere. Not bad like composition or anything. He still understands dynamism. It's just you know some of his anatomy is a little wonky here and there.
yeah.
Um, for me, that's about it though. Like I still appreciate his work, just not as much as I think I did. What about you?
Hmm. I think Eric Larson.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he's one of those that I liked a lot as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought the world of it as I got older and looking at his artwork. I was like, not so much.
Yeah.
I still appreciate his time, like on Amazing Spider-Man, but
Yeah. What do you think it was that, or what do you think it is? I guess that isn't quite what you thought it was.
probably his anatomy, just the way he draws faces. But
Yeah.
it was kind of like the same way with Todd McFarlane, because I kind of thought Todd McFarlane was a great Spider-Man artist too, and he is, like, as far as drawing Peter Parker in costume. But when it comes to drawing faces, like his
Yeah.
faces were never the greatest.
Yeah. Personally, I can't. I want to be a Todd McFarlane fan sometimes, but I can't do it. He's a little too abrasive for me. I think it's his ego, or like at least like that show that he puts on that he's got a huge ego. I'm sure he's the nicest guy in the world. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know him, but like every time I hear a story about him, I'm like, maybe I don't want to be a fan of Todd McFarlane. But I guess to a degree, you do need an ego to be as successful as he is.
definitely. I think it's served him well.
Yeah. Kind of the wrestling persona
Yeah, I
put
can see
on the
that.
show. I think I'm too lazy to put on a show. I can't. I don't remember what I'm supposed to act like. I'm just gonna act like myself.
Yeah, I get too nervous to put on a show
Yeah.
when I'm around people. I couldn't do it. Another artist I didn't appreciate when I was younger,
Hmm.
that I appreciated more when I was older, was Ron Lim.
Oh yeah, for sure. Another one of those guys understands the fundamentals. He understands composition, anatomy. I think I got into Ron Lim because of the comics he was drawing, not necessarily because of
His
his
artwork.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he's one of those that could be like an invisible artist. Like he made it about the character, not about his style.
yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Like I think they chose him to do most of the work in that Universe 2 they started for Marvel back in the late 90s, with like Juggernaut's son and Wolverine's daughter.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man's daughter.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man's daughter. Penny. No, it wasn't Penny Parker. It was some other Parker.
Mayday
Yeah.
Parker.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, Ron Lim is pretty cool. I didn't realize he took over a lot of projects like Silver Surfer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think you're right though. He is like kind of an invisible artist. He does the work, and he can kind of draw anybody.
Right.
Looks
Right. Yeah.
I think John Buscema was another one that I knew he was fun to look at. I did not have the patience to try to draw like him though. And I really only knew him from the book How to Draw the Marvel Way.
Yeah.
But he's a master.
Yeah. How about an artist that everybody hypes up, but you just don't see it?
Ooh. That's a good question. I don't know. Okay. Gary Frank.
Yeah.
I can't get into Gary Frank's work. I want to.
Right.
Because everyone seems to have a good time doing it, but I can't do it.
That's a good one.
Yeah. How about you?
John Romano Jr.
JRJ. That dude is blocky as heck.
Like as far as fundamentals go, that guy's a great storyteller. If you want to study storytelling, study his artwork. His panel layouts are great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the way he handles the anatomy, the way he handles people. I just don't get it.
Yeah. He worked on Thor for a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And honestly, I liked his work on Thor. I felt like that was probably the best book that he did. I did not like him on Spider-Man because I felt like Spider-Man is just not the type of character for him, for his style.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it was cool to see him on Spider-Man because his dad worked on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it wasn't for that legacy factor, I say no. Keep him away from Spider-Man.
Yeah. Was Bagley your favorite Spider-Man artist?
Not at first. At first, it was Eric Larson,
Larson. Okay.
like Larson and McFarlane. Um, and once Bagley started on it, it was like seeing John Romano Jr. on the book, like for me, because we went from seeing artists draw Spider-Man like so flexible and these dynamic poses
Yeah.
to an artist taking him and making him like as realistic as possible. So he just looked stiff to me.
Yeah.
He did not look flexible and agile like he did when McFarlane or Larson drew him.
Yeah.
But like after 3 or 4 issues, like I got into Bagley and I was like, you know what, this guy draws a really awesome Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And looking back at Larson and McFarlane and how they drew Peter Parker, that's when my eyes were open and I was like, whoa. These guys draw a good Spider-Man, but they did not draw a good Peter Parker or Mary Jane or Aunt May.
Yeah. Anyone with a face. Yeah.
Yes. Put a mask on them and they're fine, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then then I just really appreciated Bagley and I wanted to draw like him.
Mm-hmm. Is there an artist that you would like to see take a character that you haven't seen before?
What do you mean?
Like I'd love to see like Lino Yu do a I don't know, like a Gundam book or something.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Brett Booth on Amazing Spider-Man
Yeah.
for a good run would be nice.
That would be pretty cool. He has awesome anatomy for Spider-Man, especially.
Yeah.
Those long, lean builds.
Yeah, when he did that crossover with Backlash and Spider-Man, that was awesome.
I came across that one last night too. I forgot about that. Isn't he doing like his own creator-owned book now? Like another one?
I think on the side he is working on his own stuff. Which is cool.
Yeah.
It's good to see that.
Really good artist.
Yeah, he is. Like looks more like Maestro from the Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Doesn't he?
A little bit, yeah. He's starting to have my long hair.
Yeah.
That's the face you make when someone goes to talk to you.
You're trying to go home.
Can I borrow you for a second?
It kind of does look like you a little bit. Darken up the beard
Yeah.
here for when you had your long beard.
Yeah. I forgot how long my beard got. I was getting pretty close to Sasquatch. And like my whole childhood, I never ever wanted a mustache. I still don't. I still don't want a mustache. I don't like the idea of just a mustache. I'll do a beard and mustache. That's fine because it makes sense.
Yeah.
The ensemble. Yeah. Did you ever want younger?
Give me a minute and then ask me the question again because you started as a robot. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it sounds like it stopped. Okay, go ahead.
Did you ever want facial hair when you were?
No, I did not.
No.
That was not one of those things I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
How about you?
Never. Never wanted facial hair. Never wanted the 5 o'clock shadow. I guess that we had a little DNA. Like I was really hoping, like, oh, maybe I'll just never grow any hair. Wasn't for you. For me, like it wasn't. And there was nothing about it in that respect. What? Why didn't?
Why didn't I want facial hair?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just guess the idea of shaving just never sounded fun to me, even as a kid. Like I just, even I only do it like once a week because I don't like to do it every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's nice that society is fine with men just having beards and really take care of. Because I don't have the discipline to shave every day. I remember I was at the library this one time. I was doing some work, and there was this old man who was sitting and talking to one of the librarians because I guess that was like his friend now. I was the only person that would listen to his stories anymore. I don't know. But like he just walked up to me and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, oh, you know, and he started telling him about his week, and he finally started getting off on like these tangents about young people and how they're the worst thing to happen to the world or whatever. He was like, you know, all these young kids growing beards. Look at that one. He pointed at me. Look at that one. I was like, what did I do? I was too far away to actually do anything about it, but like, I probably would have asked him, like, what did I do? I just got here. What's going on? But
I haven't had time to disappoint you yet.
You don't know me. And it was like, yeah, they invented it. We invented beards. You didn't invent beards. Oh man. Yeah. A funny old man.
Thought you were one of those hipsters, huh?
I guess so.
With your hipster beard.
Listen, dude, I just don't like shaving. I'm not doing this as a fashion statement. Just real lazy, okay?
Tell you what, I'll shave it and I'll bring it to you in a baggie. You can have it back.
That's my beard. Yeah.
It's my beard and I want it now.
I guess we'll take the lull as an opportunity to talk about what, in case it's just joining the VR commission that we're doing for payment right now. Halloween and 21. The creation of tricks and treats. Yep. At a certain tier, and you get sketches from either or Ben or, in this case, this particular customer bought a sketch from.
And we just lost him. Uh-oh. Anyways, what Justin was saying was that we are doing these for the campaign. So if you buy at a sketch tier, whether it's the sketch or the trick or treat bag, you will get a sketch from either one of us or both of us. There he is.
Hey, am I back?
And you're back.
All right. I was real professional and everything in that pitch.
You really were. And then you started to robot, and I did not want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
And then you just dropped off.
Man, that's what I get.
That's what you get for being professional. So yeah, if you back this campaign, add a sketch tier or the trick or treat bag, you will get a sketch from either one of us or both of us. I don't know if you hear me, Justin, but it looks like your camera's frozen.
Good. That's what I wanted.
That's what you're going for.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mission accomplished.
It, it worked. Finally. Yeah. I don't think we have a storm thing.
I heard you mention a storm, so I'm guessing you got a storm coming over there.
Yeah.
Beep bop boop. That's all I hear. Sorry. You know what? It has been 2 hours, so let's go ahead and call it. It's already 6:13. I've got to get ready for dinner anyways. But if you're up for it, dude, we could do another one tomorrow.
Yeah, I can do it tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. If you're free tomorrow, we'll go for another 2 hours. And hopefully the storm will have passed and you'll have better reception.
Yeah.
Cool. Why don't you show your drawing off to the camera? Never mind. All right. Well, I'll show my drawing off. There we go. And yeah, we'll pick this up again tomorrow. Thanks everybody for watching.